Welcome to the Her Voice Shines podcast, where we celebrate the power, brilliance, and resilience of women everywhere. I'm your host, Shanasia Washington. Join us as we share inspiring stories and insights from extraordinary women who have found their voice and are making a difference. Together, we'll create a ripple effect, illuminating the path to visibility and empowerment. Let's break barriers, shatter ceilings, and lift each other up. In each episode, we dive deep into the journeys of women who have turned their challenges into triumphs and their dreams into reality. Whether you're looking for motivation, guidance, or a community that understands your journey, you're in the right place. Stay tuned and remember, let your voice shine. You know where you landed. It's no secret. The Her Voice Shines podcast with your fabulous host, Shanasia Washington, streaming from the real hot, everyday hot Houston, Texas. I'm telling y'all, it's Friday. It's hot. I ain't got time. I'm just happy to be here today because y'all know this is my favorite place to be. And we have a protocol around here. We have our guests come to the stage, tell us their name, where they're streaming from, and we get the magic of their story. So today is no different. I have a very beautiful guest today that's going to come and do just that. And here she is.
Hi, my name is, first of all, I want to say I'm glad to be here. My name is Sonya Achara, and I'm currently a quantum embodiment coach. And really how I came into doing that was, it kind of was like a whole life thing where, I started off in my childhood, I had an emotionally neglected childhood from both my parents because of, various reasons that don't really matter anymore. But it basically led me to focus more on my physicality, and I became really deep enthralled into my athletics. And so I took that all the way, running track for San Diego State University. And then I also, I ended up joining the Marine Corps. That was another thing about me, that I just always felt like I wanted to do the hardest thing or be the toughest person, the toughest woman. And so I joined the Marine Corps, where there's only 9% women out of all the males that are in the Marine Corps. And I physically excelled in the Marine Corps. I actually push myself past limits where they didn't think women would be able to go or do. And so I excelled pretty well. I began bodybuilding while I was in the Marine Corps. And I was really focused on that, not really realizing that I was masking something underneath the whole time. And that was the things that I hadn't healed from in my childhood that I had put in the back of my mind. And so that landed me in, I ended up being at a toxic unit and a toxic relationship at the same time. And I didn't realize my relationship was that toxic when I was in it. It took, getting with a therapist and actually kind of talking things through and realizing that I wasn't in a healthy relationship. And come to find out, when I decided to leave both the Marine Corps and this person who does happen to be my son. I only have one child now, my son's father. I found out that he is a malignant narcissist. And so I had to deal with an array of different things with him. And but the thing is, I'm actually thankful for all the things that I've gone through in life, because it brought me to where I am now. And I never would have been so determined to figure out the universe if that didn't happen to me. And so at the end of the day, I see the lessons and the good things, because everything's always working for me. And that's the thing that that I've realized in all these things that happen in your life. Everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, like it's all working for us. We just have to have that perspective and be able to change our perspective around to be able to see what the lessons are in those. And we're also supposed to be able to release the emotions, which most of us don't do because it's not like we were taught how to do that. And it's like we have to be able to see the things for what it is and then release the emotion through crying, screaming, whatever it is that you have to do to release it, and then move on from it. It's just moving through it, and then you're able to look back at the thing that happened to you, and basically you don't feel the same emotion. You can talk about it. Like I can talk about anything that's happened to me throughout my life because I have finally released most of the things that have been big blockages for me, basically. And it brought me to where I am now, basically, what doing quantum embodiment work.
Oh, I love it. And where are you streaming in from, Miss Sonia?
Oh, I'm sorry. I am streaming in from San Diego, California.
Come on, Cali. We got Cali.
Yeah.
Happy to have you, but definitely an interesting opening segment. And one of the things that you talked about really in the intake was turning, basically obstacles into stepping stones. That was the exact language that you used, right? Mm-hmm. And you kind of talked us through that a little bit, I think. But let me ask you this. So tell me in your life the first time you had to realize through all of the obstacles, turning the stepping stones, mm-hmm. made you truly remember who you are. Because you talk about that as your movement. When in your life did that happen for you? When was that thing that pushed you against the wall and said, I am choosing to remember who I am? What was that thing?
I think it was a few different times in my life, to be honest. I feel like there were times I was put certain places in the Marine Corps where it was a purpose for it, because it was a very negative environment. And I made the choice to go from, and it took me a couple months. I'd be there for a couple months and realize the negative energy. And I would make the conscious choice to, I can turn this around. And so that's when, that was one of the first times I did that, was at my first unit in the Marine Corps, where I just became the positive energy, and it's spread throughout the unit. And I watched it spread. And I feel like every unit I've been to, the next unit I went to, I was on recruiting duty. And that was probably the most negative environment I had ever been in by that time, at least. And so it was all stepping stones to lead to the next, the next challenge. But it was very challenging on recruiting duty. And I was probably depressed for a good 6 months when I first got out to recruiting duty, because it was very negative. All they do is beat you down unless you recruit people. And so, and they beat you down, not like physically, but mentally. But that's when I really started being able to turn things around in really negative environments. And then it always showed, it always paid off once I made that conscious decision. And then the next feat was definitely the toxic command with the toxic relationship. Kind of that had me low for a while. I was pregnant with my son too, so I ended up just leaving the toxic command and going to a different command because I didn't want to put the stress on my baby. And instead of like saying that was admitting defeat, because I was always the type of person like, no, I'll fight it out. But I didn't want to do that to my son, and that was more important to me. But really, when I was leaving the Marine Corps and the toxic relationship at the same time, my ex was saying things like, oh, you're not going to find anyone else like me. You're not going to be able to do better without me, all this stuff. And then that just kind of sparked something in me where I was like, oh, you think so? Like, watch me.
That's what it took. You had to prove that, huh? Like, okay, you don't see. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, definitely very interesting. I want to give you the opportunity to just give us an overview of quantum healing. I
Mhm.
am sure that there are many people in my audience who are not familiar with that
Mhm.
teaching methodology. So just tell us a little bit about what it is and, make it plain so that people can understand it and determine if it's something that they could use to help them
Mhm.
along their journey.
Okay. So quantum healing is really the reason why I got into it was because I had a quantum healing experience where, unlike normal therapy where you talk it out for years and years, quantum healing is actually a you're entering into the quantum field. And I know it sounds very like sciency, and I didn't even know much about quantum physics back in the day, but I really started getting into it when I started studying like consciousness and raising your vibration and frequency, because we're all energy and we're all vibrating at certain frequencies all the time. And so quantum healing is really when you're able to pinpoint the subconscious patterns, and you're able to because words are very powerful, so you're actually able to say the right things and do the right things in order to heal in an instant. And that's what I would say quantum healing really does. You you have to it's basically bringing yourself to your highest timeline, because everybody here has a purpose, and everybody is meant to find that basically do the healing that they need to do in order to be at their highest timeline. And not everybody gets there. Most people don't.
Most people don't, huh? Yeah, no, it's. I mean, the one thing about this platform is that I've learned so much about different teaching, different types of healing practices, different types of things from Eastern and Western culture. So it's always interesting for me to, because I don't have any, connection really with quantum healing. So when
Mhm.
I get a guest that, it's kind of the first time that we've had this teaching, I always
Mhm.
ask them to, really break it down because we don't know what someone else's tick is, right?
Mhm.
There are all these different things and paths that people can tap into, to help them get better, but you
Mhm.
never know. This may be the one for the person that's watching. That's why I wanted to
Mhm.
make sure that you gave it in a way that was very plain and clear so that people could have that connection point, and
Mhm.
that education piece matters. So tell me a little bit about, and then we're going to move after this because I'm trying to bridge the connection. Tell me
Mhm.
about your energetic, I guess, discipline from the Marine Corps, because that was a lot. You just told me about a lot of different trauma from recruiting to starting. Tell me
Mhm.
about how that shapes your energy discipline, because that's a lot of different plays on energy, especially when you work in toxic environments, and
Mhm.
really how that maybe, in addition to the quantum healing, shows up in your coaching, because I think that you have a combination of things that you went through and pull different things into what you do now. But
Mhm.
I'm just trying to see how that all came together and how
Mhm.
that ignites in your coaching.
Okay. Yeah, so I do anytime I speak and I coach, I do give myself as examples and the things that I've been able to accomplish. And so quantum healing is anything that you can do in a shorter amount of time, because in the quantum field, time doesn't matter. Everything is happening at the same time, all at once, past, present, future. Everything is happening all at the same time. And so when you're able to bring your energy and your frequency and vibration to, it's called a 0 point energy. It's basically where you're actually able to be in the here and now, be feeling happy, gratitude, love in the here and now. And you're not worried about anything. You have no fear. You have no shame, guilt. You have to get rid of all those negative emotions, because those are low vibrational emotions. When you're in the high vibrations is when you actually get to your 0 point energy, where anything is possible, and you can grab basically anything from the quantum field, your highest timeline. And a lot of it is the words that you speak, like I said, is powerful. So if you're speaking and thinking negative things all the time, that's what you're going to bring about, because that's how the universe is made. And so when you're actually able to just be and be happy, and like all these high vibrational emotions are things that we are supposed to be feeling to get us to our highest timeline. So for me, that's my biggest, like, to be able to know where I'm at is like, what are my feelings? What are my emotions? Am I feeling, and you are supposed to have the negative emotions, but you're supposed to basically like see what they're there for, to basically activate within you your next level, if that makes sense.
Makes perfect sense. And the thing I like most about that segment is that your words have so much power, Sonia. And I tell people that I'm with all the time, it is about the power of the tongue. It is about what you're speaking over your life. It is about what you're believing every day of your life, even when it looks like hell. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's
that's real life. Because one thing about me is that mark that I'm looking to get through every day, I speak it, even though I don't see it yet. Every day I wake up and affirm myself. Every day you are worthy. Every day you are a conqueror. Every single day, even when sometimes I don't even have the energy.
Yes, exactly. I love that. You have to, because your thoughts can spiral out in it, like with a quickness. So you really have to be very mindful, and you have to do something every day.
Every day to get towards that mark. Every day, every day is an opportunity for you to deposit, right? Yes. For you to get to that thing. Sonya, didn't I tell you?
Yeah.
I told Sonya, you sure you want to continue with this interview? Or, I'm just going to do it how it has to be done. But another thing, you shared in your intake form a time where your rental properties were sabotaged. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry about that. But you said I kept my vibration. Mm-hmm. Said, okay, Sonya, look at Sonya.
Yeah. Normally people would have been worried and like you're freaking out because your credit is going to crap. Like, I don't even know what it was. It was something in me that was just like, F it.
Sometimes you have to say that, because we deal with high stress situations all the time. In the time that we in, you can turn the TV on and get stressed in 3 minutes just from the headlines. Tell me about, how does maybe energetic resilience, what does that look like in high stress? And you just basically told us real point. You got to say, look, like, I ain't got time to be figuring out A to B. But let's talk about that, because there are people that cannot find their grounds in high stress situations. What advice would you give, maybe, and then what does it look like?
So, to be honest, in this universe, fear is your worst enemy. And the thing is, you are more powerful than you know, because your light will always overcome the darkness whenever you believe that it will. And so it's basically in the high stress environments, and looking back now, because when he first started sabotaging the properties, I wasn't even in the quantum field yet. I was just, like, whatever. I knew it was something he was trying to use against me to get to me. And I'm looking back at it now and seeing that it's a way for him to siphon my energy. And so for me, not caring about it, just being like, whatever, he wasn't able to get that energy from me. And it kept the properties going. Like the property, it was a property in Florida that had been missed payments since last May. They still have not started the foreclosure process. And I strongly, highly, 100% believe that it's because I kept my vibration. If I was worried about it, like, they would have started that process a long time ago. But the thing about the universe is everything reacts to your vibration. So even financial institutions, even the government, even everything that has been put in place to keep people in a box basically. When you're able to bring your vibration to a certain point, like nothing can touch you. Like we really are limitless when we believe that we are.
I tell you right now, I'm limitless, Sonia. I'm going to claim that when I and I talk about my journey often here. I left corporate in 2021 from 13 years in financial services. I had a bunch of different roles, climbed the corporate ladder pretty quickly, and I got to a place to where my life was so boxed. People saw the title. Oh, there's the title. There's the nice clothes. There's the son. There's the family. But it was such a boxy life, Sonia.
Yeah, I understand that.
Everything, and I didn't even realize how boxed my thoughts were until I made a decision to find new. And it changed me so much. And when I started to see that there was a different way to do it, I mean, people thought I was crazy because I was leaving a cushy corporate salary and all of these different things and prestige. But I tell people very, very clearly, I was dying on the inside.
Yeah.
Walking dead. I was alive. Walking dead. Could have been a mommy, zombie, or any of them.
Yeah, I understand it. Like knowing what I know now, our souls are they're meant to be free.
Say it again, Miss Sonia. Our souls are what?
Our souls are meant to be free.
I'm playing with it. I'm telling you, and I've had such a supercharged week from Monday until today. I can't even tell you the conversations I've had this week. If somebody would have told me even 2 weeks ago, the conversations I had this week would occur, I probably wouldn't have believed them, kind of, because it didn't seem as though that was the alignment. I mean, things can shift easily when you wake up every day with that power of the tongue. Because it'll even scare you sometimes. You're like, oh, I said I was going to be talking to these people, and they ain't showed up on my doorstep.
So I'm at the point where nothing surprises me anymore. Like, I just trust. Like, I've learned to just trust in the universe, and I just let things go. And I know that everything that comes my way, it was meant to come my way. And everything's working for me. And so I have met the most amazing people and along this journey, and it's all like, nothing is by chance. Everything is alignment. And even what was that?
I said, look, I'm trying to tell you, everything Miss Sonia is saying is fact. Because I'm like, dang, this week alone, it just felt so divinely aligned. And I couldn't even see it even 2 weeks before. I'm not saying I didn't think it could exist, but when it came and it manifested and the things started to happen, it's still like, whoa, like you actually spoke this some time ago and you didn't have no idea how to get here. No connections, no insiders, no nothing.
Yep.
Nothing.
That's what happens when you speak it and then you just let it go. It's gonna manifest.
Y'all manifesting big things, not Miss Sonia. That's the goal. And even when it looks desolate, even when I'm in a rut, I'm still saying it's happening, it's coming. I don't see it, but I know it's coming and believing it with everything in my heart. And there's nothing around me that says that it should happen. Yeah. Nothing around me is like this thing over here. Every morning I get up and speak it.
And so that's the thing. When you're holding it, that's what you're doing. You're holding it in your vibration. Then the universe has no choice but to bring it to you. And that's the thing.
When you get out here, you better speak some good things for me, Miss Sonia.
Yeah, I'm always. Ever since I've been in this field, all I do is speak life into others because I realize that you don't see the God in others until you see the God in yourself.
Let's pause.
And so,
you got to pause. You got to pause and Miss Sonia run it back. Say it again.
You don't see the God in others until you see the God in yourself first.
You working on me.
Mm-hmm.
You working on me because, and this is said several times throughout these podcasts. This brand, this movement, is a direct product of self-work.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I told you. It's a podcast, but it's really self-work. It's really that ripple effect that says that number one had to truly, truly engulf and seeing God in me, and also to believing everything he said about me, that I am a conqueror, that I am worthy, that I am the head and not the tail, and that there are pieces of him that are literally in me.
Inside of me. Yeah, inside every single one of us.
When you, and I know people will say all this stuff and live by it, but when you truly are connected and locked into that,
you'd be amazed at what you can do. Yeah, it's crazy.
Let me ask you this, because I know that you're a mom, you got rental property, she out here doing quantum healing. She just, she doing it. She doing different things. Tell me about that balancing act, and tell me, what are you doing to keep Sonia at the forefront? Because me personally, I got so many competing priorities, and sometimes it gets crazy. It gets muddy. It's like, and I'm constantly having to come back and check in and say, Shanadra, okay, what is the main thing? What are you doing to make sure that this core of you stays intact to keep running this race? Because there's so many other things and priorities that kind of still have to be done. What are you doing to balance that? I say sometimes it just can't be balanced. Sometimes some things have to get the higher, go, and some things have to go lower. But tell me what you're doing, and also to making sure that you're at the forefront and keeping that energy bed clean.
So what I realized, especially in doing this work too, is I had always been the hustle hard type, like hustle hard to make the money, and and that's honestly the hard way to do it. And so I realized it's more about alignment instead of hard work. It's more about allowing things to flow versus forcing. And so what I realized, anytime that I get in, like when I feel like I'm doing too much, I'm getting exhausted, I pause. I take a break, and I go out into nature. I do my breath work. I do my meditation, because that is the biggest thing that brings me back to my center every single time. Every single time I get these, if I start to feel any type of buildup of frustration at all, I know that I need to go out into nature and do this work. And me having a toddler, I have a 2.5-year-old boy, active boy. And he, there's times where he does starts to build up, but then I have to take a deep breath, because deep breaths is actually, it's been given to us by our creator to regulate our nervous system. So if anytime you're feeling any type of frustration, that's like the quickest way to regulate your nervous system, is taking a deep breath.
Those deep breaths are so powerful. And girl, you gonna meet him with that boy, because I'm a boy mom too, of one boy as well, and he'll be 8 in July. And girl, that 2-year-old or 3-year-old, the even now faces, it like to take me out. It like to try to take me out because I'm like, man, if you could sell that energy, I will buy it. Like, right. I would literally, you hear me, Sonya? I'll be ready to put the credit card up.
I'm telling you, my son has so much energy.
Even now, it's just crazy. I mean, it is that beautiful journey piece or whatever, but then sometimes that breathing, like I'm taking it. Ooh, fix it, Lord, because I can't. You got to do it, because this is a lot. But I always like to ask women that, because sometimes, being engulfed in motherhood, being engulfed in that hustle hard, grind hard culture, we lose ourselves. And then you're chasing this one thing, and then you get to a point to where you're so burned out and bogged out, it doesn't even really matter anymore. So what you said spoke to me, because I am in the alignment season as we speak. Yeah. I am moving away from many things, even when I started this business, because for me, when I left corporate, I didn't have a blueprint for business. I mean, we were, got some coaching and things like that, but I was, really still trying to figure this thing out. Really figured out what felt good. really figured out, does this thing really make sense? So of course, like at the beginning, it was like, oh, I got to do something. I got to get some class.
Yeah, I gotta do. But that's the thing. When you're truly in alignment, it shouldn't be hard. It shouldn't be hard. You shouldn't be exhausted. And that's where I had to I had to spread myself out because I was doing too much. Even working in the quantum field, I was scheduling way too many things and it was exhausting me and I wasn't feeling the alignment anymore. And so you have to spread things out. You have to do the self-work every day. And the things will just come. You just have to trust it. It will come.
Yeah, and trust. And let me tell you guys, trust is not going to always be on a pretty painted platter. Sometimes trust, has to be built right. So many of you give up too easily before the trust is actually established. So, I still have to trust, but like I said several times already, when I don't see, when I don't feel like it, when people have left, when my rental property is being sabotaged, whatever it looks like, I still have to trust. And many people give up too easily in the trusting process. So, Ms. Sonia, I have to have a segment where we get all of your business, your contact information, how the people can contact you. So I'm going to come off of the screen. I want you to tell people how they can connect with you for your services and any social media or websites you want to provide. You can do that now.
Okay. All right. So you can actually contact me on any of my social media. I have an Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. The TikTok and Instagram are at Remember Who You Are 222. And my Facebook is just Sonya Achara. And you can contact me on any of those. I do have a website, but I'm currently in the process of rebuilding a new website. So just message me on any of those, and I can definitely set something up for you.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And let me tell you something, Miss Sonia, you should be reading children's books. You say, what you talking about, girl? The voice.
No, children's books nowadays. I'm reading some of my son's books, and I've actually gotten him a lot of the Sesame Street meditation books.
Yeah, I'm talking about your voice. I'm talking about the tone of your voice. You should be reading them. And particularly around that, it's very calming. It's just very kind of like inviting, like it calms. And maybe it is because of what you found in you and through your work. But I was like, this lady probably should be reading some children's books or something like that.
I have been told that though, that that my voice is calming, or they felt good talking to me. I've been hearing that in the past 5-6 months.
Oh, well, look, and this woman who's sitting in front of you got it wrong. Not exactly. I've gotten it exactly right, because when I'm in these spaces, I get to literally see my guests, right? I get to literally be in tune with them. It's not just like any other, podcast. You just go talk to a person and they say, okay, well, how many email subscribers do you have? Or what, I really use this place to be intentional and community building and impactful. And I'm always surprised about the deposits that I get from my guests. But I was like, no, I'm not leaving without telling her this. I don't know if what it's going to come to, but I have to tell her that she probably doing that. I got to do my job. I can't worry about y'all. I got to do what I got to do my own job. That's what I do. But let me tell you this. I have another round for you. It's called Rapid Fire. I got 10 questions I pre-prepared for you. So all you have to do is tell me the first thing that comes up.
Okay.
These phrases. And it's not trying to do a whole lot of, a word here, a sentence or two, and that's it. That's all you get. Okay. We don't want to have to gong you now, Miss Sonia.
Okay.
I'm just playing. I would never do that to my sweet, sweet guests. Okay. Number one, if you have one, or maybe you can create one here on the spot, what is your power word for 2025?
My power word for 2025 is I am capable. I am limitless.
We just said it.
I am limitless.
Limitless. And I am too. Limitless power up here on this stage. Okay. Tell me about a book that really opened up your consciousness? Maybe not a book, maybe a podcast, but something that really channeled that.
Honestly, Joe Dispenza was my first Becoming Supernatural. Joe Dispenza was like my guy when I first started studying all this stuff.
Okay. And I think I know the answer to this one, and I did not know we were going to go here in the podcast, but I pre-prepared to say breath work. We talked about that. Meditation or stillness. Which one is a non-negotiable? Which one? Tell me out of all of those three, because all of them are kind of in the field of this.
Yeah.
Which one is like,
Ooh, that's hard because I do feel like the breath work is calming, but the meditation is what really, the meditation and the mantras is what really instills the things into my subconscious.
You know what, the last one though, it's a big one. That stillness, just being still. Stop moving.
Yep.
You can't. It's powerful. Stillness it's one of those things.
Yeah, I would say the stillness. You know what? The stillness might be the most important because we're always too on the go, and the stillness will bring you back to the 0 point. That's what it does. Do that. It brings you back to the 0 point. Whether you choose to go from there is your choice.
Sure. Now, the first thing you recall after your quantum healing breakthrough, what was the first feeling, if you could put it into words, after you had that first breakthrough?
Oh, yeah. I guess, well, I can say that for sure. I got rid of my lifelong anxiety. It was gone in an instant. I used to have alcohol cravings from my 20s on and off till I left my ex, and then that was gone in an instant. And what I really felt was just a different view of the world. It was a different view. My perspective had changed. It was a higher perspective versus a down 3D X perspective.
What's a belief that you've completely outgrown?
Oh,
a lot of them I know, but give me one.
Fear. Fear in anything. I've completely outgrown that.
And I think I know this one, but what keeps you rooted when life gets really loud?
Nature. When life gets loud, I go out into nature.
What is one quantum truth that you wish every CEO knew?
Oh, to just relax and allow.
Okay. Go on and speak to me, Miss Sonia. I'm gonna try to relax. I'm trying. I'm trying to get better at that. Sacred space, and I'm telling you, I never know what you guys are gonna say. I promise you. But you already told me. Sacred space. I said mountain, ocean, or forest. I promise you, I did not know you were gonna say
that I was gonna. Yeah.
I didn't know.
I gotta say, lately it's been the ocean.
I'm an ocean girl too. Love water. And this is the last one, and I think it's good. I said, what is your soul's biggest yes right now? What is your soul saying yes to in just strong force? Yes. What is the biggest yes for your soul right now?
To always be in my highest timeline.
Come on, highest timeline.
Yes.
Exactly. Let me tell you, I told Miss Sonya I was going to take 30 minutes of her time, but we had 40 minutes. It didn't even feel like it did. It never does because we just had a conversation, Miss Sonya. I don't have time for a lot of extra. I want to thank you so much for being here, being your pure self, showing up and doing it just how Sonya does it. That's what this place is designed to do. But this is the part of my show where I cue with my guests for final thoughts. I asked them to give us some great parting words for the space that we shared and really something that captures the essence of Miss Sonya. So I'll be over to you for final thoughts and I'll be back to close the show.
Okay. So my final thought is that I truly believe that our souls were meant to come here and do what sets our soul on fire. We're not meant to do these 9-to-5s. We're not meant to do all these things that has been put here for us. When you follow your soul's desire, you will always be provided for. So just drop the fears. And I know it takes time, but you just have to start. All you have to do is start, because you can rewire your brain. You just have to start, and you just, little by little every day, put the work in.
I love it. And Sonia, again, thank you. It's been a fabulous time here at the Her Voice Shines podcast. But look, it always is. That's just...
Yeah, it was great energy. I love your energy.
That's just what we bring here. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in. We always hope that something is said or done that ignites you. I tell you, miraculous things happen when you let your voice shine. And like the old church folks say, I love you. Ain't nothing you can do about it. And we'll be back with another amazing woman on the Her Voice Shines podcast. But until then, we out and we love you.